said anything, and this man is already, telling me what I am about to say. Say, don't worry, I know what is happening. I know what is happening. Don't worry. Now he went back to his seat without saying anything, kept quiet, and he sat down there. So when everybody was not trying to drink and all that and that, as our father was about to place his hand on the juice, it exploded.
Thanks for clicking on this channel. Please subscribe to FO's blog history and click on the notification button so that whenever we upload a new video you will be notified. An attempt was made to poison Oba EWUARE II prior to his coronation, but God and our ancestors saved his life. According to humanist Stephen, he said Oba EWUARE II had gone through a lot in his journey to the throne, and therefore, we as his subjects must continue to defend him. An attempt was made to poison him during the time he was an ambassador in one of these European countries, but God and our ancestors saved his life. He is the only child of his mother, hence, he was facing a lot of challenges, he said. He stated that the Oba of Benin is not in charge of security, technology, or science, and that the people should kindly direct their grievances to the government of the day. You have a government that is in charge of security and technology, tell them your grievances. The past Obas of Benin built the Benin Empire and developed their own technology to cast bronzes to depict past Obas explorations, memorable events, and heads of past Obas. Benin Moat was dug by the past Obas, he said. He further stated the Oba of Benin is the head of all dukedoms in Edo South. That can never be contested by any of the second-class chiefs of the kingdom. The Enigi are children of the Oba, hence, a child cannot take over his father's throne when his father is still alive. What is the essence of dividing the kingdom if they agree that the Oba of Benin is an emperor? Even if any Enigi stool has been there for time immemorial does not equal him to the Oba of Benin. When the Portuguese came to trade with Benin Kingdom, they traded with the Oba of Benin, not the Enigi. Benin Kingdom had developed under the leadership of our Oba before the British added Benin Kingdom to this country called Nigeria. Humanist Stephen talked about Hugu Kingdom, which a guy made a video of, asking for Hugu Kingdom. Our Oba is a living king who cares and wishes his people well. In his heart, it is Edo first in everything. He explained his encounter with His Royal Majesty in 2022. Please sit down, watch, and listen as he analyzes and explains all the scenarios.
Yeah, good evening, guys. This is me, your brother, your friend, Humanist Steven. Like I told you yesterday, say I will talk one true life story of what happened to our royal father. You know why he was still an ambassador to one of these countries. You know, the truth of the matter is this, guys. People don't tell whether they fight this man. As you all know, our father is the only son, the only child of the mother. You know, to our king, you know, Oba EWUARE, blessed memory. And you know, as an only child in Benin, you know the things that is going to pass through. You know, if you have to watch carefully the story of Oba EWUARE the first and this one, you're going to see that they are passing through the same stress. You know, they are going through the same struggles. Like this is like a reincarnation, and what the first Oba EWUARE went through, this one is also trying to go. It's also going through many of the things. So what is happening to this? It's not a coincidence. It's a premeditated or a prearranged, destiny thing for him, as the case may be. You know, I spoke to somebody a few days ago, and the person told me about the incident that took place while our royal father was a Dayiniken. You know, I'm not going to say the name of the country where he was, to avoid a lot of, things. But people who knows the story can buttress what I'm going to say right now. You know, like I said before, I worked with him before when he was an ambassador. And as an ambassador, they have servants like maids. Don't call it servant? We call them they call them housemaids. They have housemaids. They normally have cooks. They have cleaners, and they have drivers. Okay, they have a cook, they have a cleaner, they have a driver. That's drivers. Cook, sometimes 1 or 2 cleaners. And these people are actually in charge of all their meals. And in this very particular assignment that our father was in, like the story that I was told, the lady who spoke to us said, this man is a very generous man. And I said it before, there was a nice person, but he was very traditional to the core. Okay, he's a very traditional person. But he was nice, he was lovable, but he was very traditional. And he was strict. Don't forget that. EWUARE was strict. Then President was a very strict person. People take his strictness for wickedness, but he wasn't. He was strict to the core. He believes in things being done the right way. We should get that in. In that very particular story, this lady said she was an housemaid that was brought, an Igbo lady that was brought from Benin, from Nigeria, to where our royal father was, serving as an ambassador. He didn't mind that she's not a Benin woman or she's not a Benin girl. Actually, these people were actually serving him. I think it was only one of them that was actually Benin, according to the story I had. There came a day where the people, the ambassador was, expecting some visitors in his house. And what normally happens is this: when a visitor is coming to the house of the ambassador, there's always a merriment, there's a preparation for them. Because ambassador is just like a president, of Nigeria in that very particular country where they reside. So they prepared food and every other thing. And this girl said she was walking very close to the kitchen, and she saw the what's the name of this? The cook, the cook, trying to injecting something into the drink, which our royal father was to be served. She was there. She didn't know what was happening because she just stood there, motionless, and watching this young man do what he was doing. And after he had finished doing all these things, she wanted to know what are the intentions of what the guy was doing. She sat there, and the guy took the drink and the food to the dining table where all the guests were seated. And one thing you also know that I also found out, during the time I worked with him was this: as a prince, he hardly eats in the public. Many times that people come in and the food has been served on the table, the prince, he never eats. The highest he does is just take some of the drinks that's on the table. The lady said, and this young man, placed the food, on the table and placed this particular juice in front of the ambassador, which is the crown prince then, president, which is not the OBA EWUARE II, with a glass attached to it. So she said she was now, behind the curtain. When she saw this, she was moved, and she felt no, she's not going to allow this to happen. She was not trying to beckon on the ambassador because of the relationship the ambassador created. Because when they are there, all of them, there's no slave, there's no servant. Everybody is children. That's what he called them. So now said, "Daddy, I want to see you for a minute." Said the guy. He said he looked. The guy now said the man. Her father looked at her, smiled. So she was worried. This man is not listening. This thing is not. Then said she now beckoned on him the second time. The third time, her father now got up from where he was seated, walked to her, and before she could say anything, Her father told her, "Don't worry, I'm not a child. I know what is happening." So she was shocked that, but I've never said anything. And this man is already, telling me what I am about to say. Say, "Don't worry, I know what is happening. I know what is happening, don't worry." Now, he went back to his seat without saying anything, kept quiet, and he sat down there. So when everybody was not trying to drink and all that and that, as our father was about to place his hand on the juice, it exploded. It exploded, guys. Everywhere was filled up, on the dining. While the cook who was doing this one was standing at the end of the other side of the dining hall, watching what was happening. He was shocked. So the guy said you could see the fear on his face when that very particular thing happened. So our father just smiled and he ordered her to come and clean up the mess. And she came and cleaned up, all the mess on the table. And the guest only just thought maybe it was a mistake that the thing fell from His Royal Majesty and whatever happened. Then she now said, after the incident and everybody had eaten, they've left, he called the cook and called the driver. But she said she could not hear what he was telling them. So it was wrong of her to go close to where he was talking with them. And after 3 days or thereabout, the two of them were sacked by His Royal Majesty. Now, some of you might not understand why I have to tell you this story now. I will say this story because this man his life have been under threat. His position as the crown prince, as the awaiting king, now to the point of being a king, have been under contention, under a lot of stress, both within the family circle, both within the palace, and even outside the palace. Okay, guys? Now, the intention was to present His Royal Majesty. Maybe might be lead. This lead is what they put in drinks and it kill you slowly without nobody knowing what happened to you. Nobody will be able to get the trace, but the person will just be dying systematically until he finally gives up without the doctor not even tracing, any kind or any form of poison in his or her system. I think that was what they were about to use. But thank God for the ancestors, thank God for God, and thank God for everything, that actually hold dear to His Royal Majesty. He survived. That is one of every 1,000 challenges that he has passed through from his birth to today as the king of the Great Benin Kingdom. There have been a lot of attempts on his physical life. There have been a lot of attempts on his spiritual life. And there have been a lot of attempts on the throne. But God had continually vindicated him. God had continually protected him. God had continually supported him. Because, like I always tell people, he didn't become a senior by mistake. It was a divine plan from God. So when you see some of us standing behind him, we that know him a little bit, where we know what he had gone through. He's destined to sit on the ancient stool of the Benin people. It was his destiny to be a king. Just the only child. After him, there was no other child before the passing away of the mom. He grew as an only child of the mother. While he was away, he went through a lot of temptations. While he returned back, even during the time he was about to be coronated as a king, we all know what happened between him and the Ogiame. Now there is this usual mock fight that might take place. The Ogame refuse to embark on that fight. We all know this man has been going through a lot. Because it is his destiny. We must protect him. We must support him. Just the way OBA EWUARE the first was supported by Emota and other kings or chiefs who believed in him when he was sent on exile by his younger brother. We must protect him. And that is what we are doing. If you're a Benin man with so much, respect for tradition, so much respect for culture, you must always defend the kingdom and the occupant of the kingdom. If an Igbo lady who has no tie to us can risk her life in trying to protect His Majesty, what about you, who is a bona fide, a blue-blooded Benin? Like I told you guys before, politics will go and come, but the throne remains. Every government has 80 years maximum. But the throne is a lifetime. It's a lifetime position. It's a lifetime, throne that it will remain there forever. Let's try to support the palace. Let's protect our home. Our Oba is all that we have. As our Oba is all that we will ever have. Without no throne, there is no Benin. Let us not destroy that which is our own. Thank you, guys. This is Humanist Steven. God bless you. I'm bye for now. Now, good morning, my Edo people. It's going to be a very quick one this morning also. And, I dropped a write-up on my wall, and somebody, Paul Matthew, commented on my wall, and he said that there is no development in Edo State. Then why are we trying to celebrate our ancient inheritance? I want to reply him, on a normal video. Bros, let me tell you something. I want to go back to history. One thing that we're actually missing in Africa is we have refused to read history. We have refused to actually go deep down and study the history of who we are as a people. Before the coming in of the white man into our space, the Benin kingdom was a vast kingdom. Even the white man knows that. The Benin kingdom stretched up to the Bight of Benin, which is a sea. It got to the Gold Coast, now called Ghana. It spread out to Benin Republic. And deep down to Asaba and its environ. That was how far the Benin kingdom was. Also known as, at this time, the Oba of Benin was both the traditional, spiritual, and the political head of the kingdom. The first set of white men that came to Benin was in the 15th century. The Portuguese. They came in having heard of the exploit of the Benin people. These are histories for you to go and check, Mr. Paul. When they came to Benin, They found that the Benin had already had a street well planned out that was far better and far structured than that of France. Go read history. The Benin, as at the 15th century, already had a street light powered by oil. So what you see today as street lights in our cities were already in existence as at 15th century in the Kingdom of Benin. The Benin single-handedly dug all the moats around the city without no form of mechanization. That took the Benin Kingdom into the World Guinness Book of Record. This was under the supervision of the Oba of Benin. The Benin had a lot of treaties with the white men. Despite they were not westernly educated, but they were smart enough not to make mistakes in signing any agreement with the white man. It was the refusal of the Oba of Benin, Oba Ovora Menobasi, in signing some of these agreements with the white men that led to the invasion of Benin in 1897. The white men will leave their country and come into the Benin Kingdom to buy palm oil and other things that we were doing as at that time. During the time those artifacts were done or were casted by the Igun people of Edo State, there was no photograph. Nothing whatsoever. These people can easily put you in their head, the picture of you in their head, and they will vomit that very particular picture that they have in their memory. That was how smart they were. You can see of the Ida mask. It was not done during the era of Queen Ida. It was done far, far late. But yet, they were still able to draw or to mint or to cast the Ida mask that look exactly like Queen Ida. The immortal statue and many other Obas and Ogiso that have reigned in the past. That was excellent technology. Without the AI infusion, when the Obas, particularly in my kingdom, was in charge of the day-to-day running of the kingdom, it was smooth, it was easy, and it was progressive. My father once told me, my grandfather once told me, that before the coming of the white men, doors are not be locked in Benin. It was a taboo, an abomination, for someone to go into another man's house to steal. My grandfather once told me it was a taboo in Benin Kingdom for a married woman to be held irresponsibly by another man. The clothes that we wore before they coming in of the white men were not made by them. It was made by the Benin people. When you say that there was no development, it baffles my wildest imagination. The Benin people were already progressive before the powers of the Obas were cut short by the Constitution, the 1960 Independent Constitution, 1963 Republican Constitution, and 1979 Constitution, that took away all the powers of the Obas and handed it over to the local government chairman and the state government. So at this point in time, the palace became just an advisory body. So how do you expect someone who can only give you advice to not hard and do your work, okay? Listen, we are proud of our kingdom. I am proud to be a Benin man. And I am proud of having His Royal Majesty, OBA EWUARE II, as my king. And I'm proud to defend my identity anytime, any day. As I love God with all my heart, with all my soul, with all my spirit, same way I love my ancient kingdom. Like I told you the other day, kingdom was created by God. The first king on earth was ordained, approved by God. So I will not shy away from that very fact and say, oh, because it is ancient, I will not be able to do the right thing. God bless you all. My name is Jumani Stephen. Have a blessed day and bye for now. Yeah, this is part 2, guys. He said they've been oppressed. Is it not time for them to be recognized? I don't know how a son want to take over his father's inheritance when his father is still alive. I don't understand what we are saying. Some of us today who are just fighting tooth and nail to see that this very present king is being destroyed for reasons best known to you guys. Have you actually sat down and just try to turn the table around to see how it will look like if you were sitting on the throne today? That is one of the things I'm trying to let you guys understand. What is the essence of you dividing the kingdom? If the Oba of Benin is the emperor of the Benin kingdom, how are you going to say your dukedom is not subject to the emperor? I don't understand. During the time of of Caesar in Rome, they were called emperors. They ruled over not just their kingdom of Rome, but they ruled over all the kingdoms that they had dominion over. These people are subject to the throne that was in Rome. Because the Ogugo had lived long, because that throne, that very particular stool had been there, that does not change the fact that is subject to the authority of the Oba of Benin. I'm not even going to, like I said, I'm not going to tell you this. I'm going to just tell you based on what he said. I don't know if you people have watched that video. Based on what he said, I'm only quoting him and trying to make corrections even on his own statement on that show. I don't know why we are revolting against the only thing we have left. Arakioto Otorifo. If you want to destroy, you know, some people, when they are angry, they're ready to do anything. They're ready to destroy anything because they are angry. And at the end of the day, they'll start regretting after they have found out they've made a very big, silly mistake. One thing I have learned in life, those that you sold your brother to will never trust you. You'll be a suspect at every given point in time. If you sell your kingdom out for a pinch of salt, you will never ever be trusted by the outsider. They will see you as one who can do anything for money. The Oba of Benin had remained the traditional head of the Benin people. During the time of the invasion of Benin Kingdom, we only know of the invasion of the palace of the Oba of Benin. When the white men were coming into Benin Kingdom to do business, they only do and talk with the Oba of Benin, not anyone else for that matter. Yeah, now good morning, my people. Now me again, you, my brother, my friend, you, my Stephen. I just come again just to come and talk about, you know, some issues that have to do with the kingdom. You know, like I said, I'm a very proud, you know, underlining capitals, I'm very proud Benin man who loves his culture, who loves his tradition dearly. When I go to say, you love tradition. Yeah, I love my tradition. You know, that is my identity. I'm not talking about the biblical part of my tradition. I'm talking about the tradition that makes me who I am. Every country or every tribe in the world has a tradition. Okay. Yesterday I was on Facebook and I just scrolled through and I saw one broadcast from one guy from is that Ugu or so, but not Udu, I think it's Ugu, you know, who was saying that they are not under the palace of the other Oba Benin. They are a kingdom of their own. When I saw the post, I think it was posted by this boy in Germany. I don't want to mention his name on my shows. I was a little bit wondering what he was talking about, so I decided to just go through and listen to the entire video that he made. And while I was looking at the video, after he had finished, I sat down. I started thinking, what was he actually saying? What was saying makes no sense. I'm going to try as much as possible to explain it, maybe in 2 parts. First and foremost, he said they are kingdoms. I think this place is at Iyekurion area there. He said they are kingdoms. And from history, from time immemorial in history of the Benin Kingdom, the only time we have had of a kingdom is the Benin Kingdom. Even during the time of the colonial masters, the only kingdom we had was Benin Kingdom. Like I said yesterday, you have the Bight of Benin in the Atlantic. We have the dichotomy, who is now Benin Republic, which is Benin Republic. You know, it is called by French pronunciation, they call it Benin. They actually came to the palace of the Oba of Benin to take permission from the Oba of Benin to change the name of their country to reflect the prowess, the power of the Oba of Benin. Okay. Now, let's go a little bit to... He also said, yeah, there's one he said that I love. He said the Oba is the emperor of the entire Edo South, of the Benin-speaking people. Sir, I want to go and look at dictionary who is an emperor. If you are called about the chairman, it would have been a little bit down. But he said the Oba is an emperor. He talked about the Ogiego, whose daughter Oromia got married to, that bettered the first king, the first Oba, after the Ogiso dynasty ended with Ogiso Wodo. Okay, guys, we all know the story. I'm not supposed to repeat that again. The Kaladeran, the Oduduwa, Izoduwa, you know, and all this old saga that took place that ended the Ogiso dynasty, which the Oba came into being through Oromia with the daughter of the Ogiego that gave birth to Oba Ewuare the First. Now, guys, I want to listen to this very carefully. When people are saying it true, they should not try as much as possible because of political gain to want to twist history. I'm not going to talk history here today, but I'm going to just say facts based on what he said. Now, the first thing is this. The Ogiego, the Ogieka, actually recognized the throne of the Oba of Benin. Now, even before, during the time of the Ogiso dynasty, they were already dukedoms. What we are saying is we have one traditional ruler. Even the constitution of the 1979, you know, traditional rulers and chieftaincy, you know, edit says that the only traditional ruler in the southern part of Edo State, which is now the southern central state of Edo, it is the Oba of Benin. They did not have chiefs. We have the first class chiefs, which are the traditional rulers. We have the second class chiefs, and we have the third class chiefs. What Oga is supposed to have done is to go and look at the 1979 edicts and see where their community or their dukedom belongs to. Now, when they now say the Oba, the Eniges are actually a representative of the Oba, that's how it has been from time immemorial. Because the Ogiego was there, for example, because the Ogugo was there, for example, because the Ogieka was there, for example, before the coming in of Oromia, that does not stop the fact that the lineage of the Oba was never, ever disrupted. We must get that clearly. There was a break in rulership as a result of the exit of the only son of Ogiso Wodo, based on the conspiracy of Esago in the kingdom then, that eventually brought to an end the Ogisoship in the Benin kingdom. This lasted for about 47 years or thereabout, where the Ogiamians and the Evians of the same family ruled in administrative capacity. I don't know why people want to just twist history for political gain. These guys ruled the Benin kingdom in an administrative capacity. They were never called kings. They were called Ogie, Ayamie. It was a name of one of the children of Evian, apparently the second son. At this point in time in the history of the Benin kingdom, where was all these people? They were just dukedoms. Like the Ogiego, for example, now, the Oba Palace gives so much regard and respect to the Ogiego. I also know it gives so much respect to the Ogieka. Even in that very clarification written by the two lawyers to the palace, they made it very clear that they report to the Oba directly, except or on the occasion that it is being waived by the palace. Sometimes we should read between the lines. That statement clearly made it clear that there are some of the Enige who rules based on the already existing oral, laws between their dukedom and the palace of the Oba of Benin. That's why you now see some of these Enige had the power to also confide chieftaincy titles on people. They have the right to also confer chieftaincy titles on people because they had that break, that approval from the palace. That does not mean administratively they are independent of the kingdom, of the head of the kingdom, where they actually belongs to. We should not allow because of money and destroy all that we have built. The Ogugo of Ijekodiomo will have never been a kingdom within a kingdom. I've not had it. The Wilogekona says is a king in a god domain. Yes, he has lived. No, the Ogiego has lived from the time of the Ogisos. That does not change the fact that a dukedom remains a dukedom. My great grandfather from my mother's side was Iyase of Uselu Kingdom. Iyase of Uselu. Is Uselu a kingdom? No, Uselu is under the control of the Oba of Benin. But my great-great-grandfather was Iyase of Uselu. Not Iyase of the palace of the Oba. But we all pay homage to the throne. Guys, let's begin to not to destroy all that we have built as a result of this monetary gain that is coming up. He said they've been oppressed. Guys, just watch out for part 2 of this, guys, please. Watch out for part 2 of it. Yeah, guys, you know, I did a video, you know, on Benin Kingdom and the throne of the Oba of Benin in series up to part 13 or so, and other subsequent ones that I did, and a lot of people were bashing me, saying that we are still celebrating our old, you know, archaic kingdom where others are developing, and all that and that. And I came back to explain to some of these people that you don't even know your history, don't know how valuable your ancestral histories are, and your culture is most sought after all over the world. So I want you to look, you know, at this video that I just I'm going to add to this video right now to see how a British man explaining the technicality and the industrial revolution of the Benin Kingdom before the invasion of 1897. This is what you need to watch. You don't throw away what you have or because of some very flimsy, lousy political, you know, group, I'm going to call them, who is trying to downplay the power of the great Benin Empire. I want to just sit down, listen. Why they play this, listen, and you understand what I'm saying, guys. Benin has been one of the greatest and still the greatest existing kingdom in the world. Okay, guys?
Did you know that Africa is home to the largest earthworks ever undertaken by human hands? Or that these earthworks produce the second largest wall ever made, consuming over 100 times more material than the Pyramid of Giza? Benin Empire was a West African state located in what is modern-day Nigeria and was established around 1000 CE by the Edo people, who originally called it Igo de Migado. The empire was ruled by the Oba, who were a powerful king or queen who held political, military and religious authority over the kingdom, and these Oba turned the empire into a major trading state with a strong economy based on agriculture, crafts and trade. A testament to this wealth and power were the monumental scale of the city's walls, which before the Industrial Revolution introduced machinery were the largest earthworks on Earth. This is an artist's depiction because obviously we didn't have drones or anything back then. This is what it would have looked like with the moat and the city walls and everything.
Like circular?
The walls themselves were made of rammed earth. This is actually a picture of one that remains today, and rammed earth is essentially just very compressed earth which is mixed with a small portion of clay to hold it together. These are actually very strong and they do last a very long time. Now these walls extended for 16,000 kilometers or 9,941 miles in a series of more than 500 interconnected small settlement boundaries covering more than 6,500 square kilometers or 4,000 square miles. If you don't count overlapping and reconstructed sections of the Great Wall of China, the Benin walls are actually 4 times longer. What? Here's a view along the streets taken in 1897, and these streets were also lit up at night by large metal lamps fueled by palm oil in order to facilitate work and trade after dark, and they also had underground drainage for storm waters, and every single house in this city had its own fresh water well. This image also shows some, remaining walls over the modern-day city of Benin, which is pretty cool. Mathematician Ron English described the city planning as perfect fractals laid out in mathematically predictable patterns, and said in his book, and I quote, "When Europeans first came to Africa, they considered the architecture very disorganized and thus primitive. It never occurred to them that the Africans might have been using a form of mathematics that they hadn't even discovered yet." But as I'm sure you've been gathering as I flash these pictures behind me, the Benin Empire was also famous for its incredible ivory and brass sculptures that were highly sought after by pretty much anyone who laid eyes on them. This ivory giraffe piece is one of my personal favorites. I really love this. And I think this brass sculpture really shows the ability of these craftsmen. Like, look at this wiring and how intricate all this is. It's very incredible. As well as this ivory mask depicting Queen Idia, which is incredible. When the first Europeans arrived in Benin City around 1500 CE, they described it as an incredible place, largely free of crime and hunger, filled with friendly, courteous people who didn't even have doors on their homes.
Wow.
But unfortunately, this also marked the beginning of the end for the Benin Empire. 1897, as with many things, the absolute unit, that is the British Empire, showed up and destroyed the entire city in retaliation for the death of 20 unauthorized British traders, and further justified the attack by fabricating accounts of human sacrifice in the city. The destruction of the city did not mark the end for the Edo, who continue to thrive in modern-day Nigeria, and the 40th...
Honestly, sometimes it's so embarrassing to be British from the British Empire. Oh.
Ruler of the Benin Kingdom was actually crowned in 2016. Hit follow for more.
Okay. Did not know about that. Did not know about ancient Nigeria. Fascinating.
Now, guys, you saw that. Now you believe what I'm saying now. So don't bring down your own because of political correctness, guys. Never do that. It will be a shame on you. Keep on preaching about your inheritance. Even let not your religion take you away from who you are. The Israelites that will follow today, they keep their culture. The Arab world that will follow today, they kept their culture. Those of you that are into whatever religion you do, the original owner of this religion kept their culture. They even infused their culture into their religion. Go to Brazil, where they are doing all their Oromila or you see you see them, talking, in Yoruba language, because that is the culture they are far. That is what we should be thinking, guys. Let's not throw our own culture away for no reason. Thank you, guys. My name is Steven. I'm a born Edoma. Yeah. Good afternoon, guys. I want to explain something here today. Somebody dropped a comment on my comment section in one of my posts. I think the palace and basically the palace, I think it was part 5. He said there was a time that myself and my company went to the palace over land issues, and whether the palace did not ask us to pay some money or whatever. I want to throw a little bit light on that, guys. Like I always do, anything I want to tarnish the image of the palace, I always come out to defend it. Yes, somebody took us to the palace. Not the palace that actually called us. Somebody took us to that place. But the most important part I want to talk about is the love of the Oba for the Benin people. You guys don't know. Until you get very close, the Oba loved the other people more than the other thing. When we went to that place on that day, the decision of the Oba was very clear. And the report that was given to him was that a foreigner came to acquire those area of land from the community. Okay, that was the impression that was passed across to Royal Majesty. And when we came there, we met him one-on-one, and after we've greeted him in our usual traditional ways, and I asked a question: who are the people that owns the company? Who acquired those massive, hectares of land from that very particular community? My chairman stood up. That was the chairman of the board. Stood up and called his name. And I got up. No, the vice chairman got up first and called his name. And I got up and I called my name. And when I called my, because I'm from Benin, we used to say Seneraki. I'm from OBA EWUARE 4. So when I called my name and I said I was from OBA EWUARE, that I'm the son of the soil, our Royal Majesty now said something. He now said, Inyakewe, a company in me, just because of the presence of 3 Benin people in the board, our Royal Majesty changed the narratives. Okay? He just said, okay, if my people are on the board, they are part of the owner of the company, then the impression that was given to me was wrong. Just go and modify and rectify the agreement that we had with the community. And in every of such, as far as the matter has come before His Royal Majesty, the royalty that belongs to the Royal Majesty must be paid. In the sense of it, guys, every land being sold by the community, either the Odinwe or the Ndogi, there's a royalty that ought to go to the palace. We should stop trying to play some funny games sometimes. Come on. The property belongs to the Oba of Benin. It is his domain. It is his inheritance. The entire Edo, the 7 local government area in Edo State belongs to the Oba. He appoints the Odinwes. He appoints the Enige. He appoints everyone, the Ohens and all that administer, whatsoever responsibility in each of the communities are from the directives of the palace. The Oba doesn't get involved until such a case is brought to his domain. There are many communities today who have sold their lands without the Oba even knowing. But the moment a case is brought before the Oba, then the royalty that belongs to him must be dealt with. So let us not try to always want to find a way to turn the right thing to be wrong. Just like you go and sell government land, area that government have already reserved. If the government hears of it and he wants to sell it back, you are going to pay double now. You're going to say, oh, because... No, it's not like that. But one thing you must know from the story I just told you now, that because of our presence as Edo, as Benin people, it changes its decision. That's that part we don't talk about. It's fatherly love for the Edo people. It's plan to see the Edo people progress. That part we don't discuss it. We don't talk about it. Why? Why do we always want to talk about that part that look as if